Creative ideas without applications are just ideas. To apply creative ideas, it's important to explore all paths to implementation to see if they might work in practice, even if they may seem irrational or unreasonable at first. We know that young children score as geniuses in divergent thinking assessments, but few are able to follow ideas through to practical solutions. So why doesn't a child's painting hang in an art gallery? Or why don't their ideas become innovations? Neuroscientist Baroness Susan Greenfield believes that although we lose the ability to think more divergently as we age, ironically, it is as adults we're better able to join the dots and come up with applications. As we work towards practical applications from the lofty ideas process, we need to start identifying and redefining potential solutions. This apply part of the process requires convergent thinking to see ideas through to implementation. This strategy of exploring different paths is about working through different potential options to possible practical solutions. It's a prototyping and testing phase to ensure ideas work in practice. Comedian John Cleese believes that creative professionals play with the problem longer than others and tolerate the discomfort of not having a clear solution from the outset most. But leaders today feel they need to be quick and decisive, so they follow the most obvious paths and can miss seeing the better options. In the CQ Torrance assessment, creative people score well for not just drawing the first thing that comes into their heads, but instead follow through on some different potential options and consider a number of different possible solutions. This attribute is known as fluency. The brain is actually designed to follow one neural pathway at a time. Thoughts tend to travel along known neural pathways using sequences of electrical impulses to make them easier to follow. When a sequence or pattern is repeated, it becomes a thought pattern or a mindset which channels future thoughts more easily along that same path. And brain scans show that these neural pathways can then become like freeways and highways. This is how we develop habitual ways of looking at issues. It then takes a lot of practice to be able to steer thoughts off this freeway and onto new paths. Leonardo da Vinci demonstrated this principle. He believed that to solve problems effectively, you need to look at different perspectives. So he would restructure his problem by looking at it from one perspective and then move to another perspective and then still another, always looking for the best answer. Try this exercise to see how well you can explore different options. Think about how you would connect the 4 dots shown here with 3 straight lines, starting and finishing at the same spot without picking up your pen or pencil and without going back. Most people can't get the solution to this as they continue to think inside the box, literally. Can you see the solution? When our minds are limited by potential boundaries, as in these 4 dots that seem to form a box, our thinking tends to stay in the box. It takes a creative mind to stretch outside of the box or out of the current systems to explore different paths. So were you able to think outside the box? And what if I was to ask you to connect all 4 dots with just one straight line? If you can't see the possibilities, we'll share the answer with you later. Exploring different paths can help us find that big breakthrough. The difference between a process-orientated approach like Six Sigma and creative thinking is that Six Sigma looks at how to tighten processes so as to minimize any chance of waste or defects through small incremental innovations. On the other hand, the creative thinking process involves standing back and identifying completely different paths to look for more significant breakthroughs. Think of the process of getting a hotel guest from the busy airport to their hotel room, for example. Many have worked hard to try and tighten the lengthy process and to make it as painless as possible. Yet one hotel we worked with had a creative breakthrough. By exploring different paths, they came up with the idea to bypass the laborious detailed processes, and drawing inspiration from the idea of a departure lounge, they came up with the idea of the first airport arrival lounge. The arrival lounge was not a crazy new idea, but a developmental idea from an existing idea, the departure lounge, in a completely new context. From a customer perspective, the guest was able to sip a cocktail while getting a shoulder massage, all in the arrival lounge. So this became the first step in their holiday experience, rather than the unpleasant arrival. It's only by examining many different paths and angles to the solution, focusing on potential innovative ways, that it's possible to make real progress and bring about significant change.